I'm not going to lie to you guys. Seeing Chad Holmgren go down with that injury and seeing the reports that he has torn ligaments in his foot and that he's going to be out this entire season really does scare me when it comes to these up-and-coming draft prospects that are over 7 foot, or maybe they're 6'10" and up with this thin type of frame, or just big man in general. It really scares me when it comes to their overall health, because it's not just a Chad Holmgren overreacting thing. It's not just seeing Jaren Jackson Jr., who's 6'10", 6'11", going to be missing the beginning of the season, kind of as a thinner frame as well, that has gone on to be injured. No, there's a history when it comes to these taller, thinner players, or just big men in general, that haven't been able to stay healthy. If it's recently, and maybe they're not the most fantastic players in the world, but it's still a history of this frame of getting hurt, and maybe it's a risky position to draft a power forward / center, because sometimes there is 7 foot power forwards like a Kristaps Porzingis. He went on to play the power forward position with the New York Knicks due to his lack of huge girth or anything like that, or lack of big time strength there to really battle in the post, or battle inside in the interior. So is it a risky position to go on to draft when it comes to future years, Seeing the history, is it better, for example, in this upcoming draft, is Chad Holmgren getting hurt and seeing the past history going to affect Victor Wembanyama's draft stock? And maybe Scoot Henderson, after this injury, he goes up the boards. Yes, we have to see how he plays in G League Ignite this upcoming season, but he plays the most important position in basketball. You could value positions in your own way, but he's 6'2". It seems like he has a more durable type of build when it comes to the NBA, a more long-lasting play style. And Victor Wembanyama, as great as he is and how unicorn-like he is, that he could put the ball on the floor, good vision, he can cover so much ground with his wingspan, defending outside on the perimeter, his hips move extremely well, he could block shots in the interior, he could do so much. He has the capability of shooting the basketball, he has the capability of doing tons of things out there, snagging rebounds, getting out in transition. He moves like you shouldn't be able to move when it comes to that size of being 7'2", or some people think he's even taller, because we've seen that picture of him standing next to Chet, another NBA draft prospect as well, that the guy to his left's actually 7'4", and it looks like he's the same height as him. But yes, it depends where they're standing throughout this picture. So I really do believe Victor Wembanyama is going to be a good player in the NBA, just making a prediction, because he hasn't even played against, he hasn't even been in the summer league. He hasn't been drafted yet. So he's going to be good. But the risk is, how many good years are you going to get with a Victor Wembanyama? There's definitely that risk there. But looking at the history with Yao Ming, 7'5", he had good years in the league, but we never got to see what he could truly be longevity-wise due to injuries. Kristaps Porzingis, he doesn't move the same anymore, in my opinion. There's not that fluidity that I saw with the New York Knicks. Torn ACL. Ralph Sampson, I didn't think we got to see consistently what Ralph Sampson could be. I thought he was going to consistently just get better and better, and I thought his trajectory would have been better. Yes, he had a good NBA career, don't get me wrong, but he's someone that went down with an injury. It's Jaren Jackson Jr., latest example. You saw Zach Collins. He's not been healthy throughout his career. Anthony Davis, he's not 7 foot, but he's had some injury issues as well. Jonathan Isaac. And Victor Wembanyama, he's not just 7'2", but he has this thin type of frame. So how will his joints hold up? How will his overall frame really hold up in the NBA? Will Scoot Henderson end up going up the boards, like I said, and maybe he's the safer pick with the number 1 overall pick? Again, I think a guy of Victor Wembanyama is extremely talented. I think he's going to. Tony Parker has praised him, He could hit fadeaways. This dude has an amazing touch, There's always growth. There's always room for improvement. We haven't seen him in an NBA game. We haven't even seen him get drafted yet or play in the summer league or anything like that. But he has played up against some very solid competition when it's come to overseas, coming out of France, and people were labeling him the next big thing, even a bigger time NBA draft prospect than a LeBron James. Are you concerned with Chad Holmgren? Are you just concerned with drafting big men early in the draft? Because yes, they may have some good years, but how many good years will they have? Is Victor Wembanyama worth the risk? Or you're like, yeah, he may have a good few years, but he's going to go on to get hurt, and is it worth the gamble with the number 1 overall pick? Let me know down below your thoughts. Peace out, y'all.